What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. Things you never think you'll say. Equity is ownership. That's it. End of video. Okay, yeah, so real talk. Equity is ownership. It's not tangible, you can't see it, and it's very important. It's what owning anything comes down to. Specifically, we're talking about owning a house. That's what it comes down to, the equity. That's it. That's all we care about. Okay, so when you're renting a house, you're borrowing it and paying somebody money to borrow it, right? And they can increase that amount of money. You have no control over the property. You're limited in what you can do to it, and you're never gonna get that money back. You're just borrowing the house. You're creating no equity. This is only a liability in your financial plan. When it comes to where you live, that's not an asset, it's a liability. That means it's costing you money. It's not making you any money. There's nothing you can do about this because you're not building equity. Okay, so on the flip side, buying is building equity. It's increasing your ownership. You may have heard that buying a house is like a forced savings account, that your mortgage is a forced savings account. That's because ideally you buy this house, and when you go to sell it in the future, you sell it for higher than you paid for, and you get the money back that you paid. In your mortgage, you were borrowing that money. Instead of borrowing the house, you're borrowing money. And when you sell the house, you get all that money back. If you have a fixed mortgage rate, then your payment never changes. You know exactly what you're going to be spending each month, exactly what this house is going to cost you, and you have full control. You have full control over maintenance, you have full control over design, you have full control over whatever you want to do with this house because it's yours. You have all that equity, and it gives you a lot of rights and privileges because you're the owner. Okay, so the equity advantage, again, like I said, a lot of times people say a mortgage is your forced savings account because you are setting aside, say, $1,500 a month into this account, and you can cash it out because you have equity. So what you can do with this equity, aside from get the money back when you don't want to live there anymore, you can use this equity to buy another property. So what real estate investors do, and I get questions about this a lot, people who, maybe you're pretty savvy, you read books and you're curious about this, and so you buy a home, and then you want to lease it out and you want to buy the next home. So they can use the equity from their first home as a down payment for the next home. If you want to do anything else, you can use that equity as a line of credit. So you borrow the money, you borrow your own money instead of borrowing from a banker or a creditor or somebody else who's going to screw you. And of course, if you want to sell the home, you get the money back. So quick example for you. Okay, so I'm going to just use fake numbers. These are obviously not real numbers, and you can scale them up. So you bought a house for $100. You only had $20. So you put $20 down and you borrowed $80. That's what you're doing with a mortgage. So some time goes by, you want to sell this house, and now it's worth $150. You've paid towards this mortgage and you only even owe $25. That's it. And now we get to sell your house for $150. So what you get to keep is $150 minus the $25 that you have to pay the bank, because other than that, you paid the bank all the money that you borrowed. So you get all that money back. You don't just get the $20 that you paid back, you get the difference between
what you sell the house for
and what's left on your loan comes back to you. That's why it's like a forced savings account. The two ways to increase your equity are for the value to go up and for you to owe less. So other areas of your life where you talk about equity, you talk about equity when you talk about buying a car. If you're crafty and you like to buy things and refinish them, like maybe a dresser at the Salvation Army, you like to sand them down, paint them, redo it, and sell it, that's like you're building equity. You increased the value of the thing, so you increased your profit. Stocks are equity. Shares of anything are equity. You don't physically get to see anything. If you buy equity in a business or a stock, you buy stock in Kohl's, you don't own like a tile on the floor at Kohl's. You own this intangible thing. And so bottom line, equity is how you make passive income. Equity is how you invest in real estate, and equity is how you build wealth. You might know a little Beyonce song featuring Jay-Z where she says she wants to be paid in equity. Equity's wealth. That's what she wants. So she doesn't really need another $2 million check. She's got enough millions. What she needs is to own another piece of business that's going to continuously pay her. And that's what equity is. And so one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about real estate is because it is so accessible. You've got a low barrier. You can come in low, 3%. You might be able to get a home for 0%. Those aren't really investor homes where you can lease out. You've got to live in those homes, even if it's a down payment assistance program. But either way, buying something for 3%, financing the rest, builds your equity. That's the way to go. That's equity. So yeah, I hope this helped you. A nice thing to do if this helped you would be to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave me a comment, share it with your friends. If you're in Houston, I'd love to help you. My name is Chelsea. I am with the Better Homes and Gardens Gary Green brokerage here. And I do work all over the city. I work with all kinds of buyers, first-time buyers, experienced buyers, investors. I work with home sellers and renters as well. If you have any questions about real estate, I'm so happy to help you. I went to dinner with my friend the other day and her friend and her other friend. I was asking real estate questions, and so my friend was like, this isn't a work dinner, but they're all work dinners when you're with me. And I honestly just love these conversations. So please reach out if there's anything you want to know. It also helps me know what kind of videos to make. And aside from that, it's a gorgeous day out here. It's like 65 degrees. I think I'm gonna go to the park. Go to the park if you have a park nearby. Even if you think you're not an outside person, being outside is so refreshing. And it's like good for your mental health. So buy a house, go outside, list of things to do today. Oh, and like my video. So yeah, so check out my Instagram, Bayou City Homes, and my website. There's a lot of resources on there. And have a good day. Welcome back to my channel.
While you're looking up real estate, make sure to check out my website, chelsea-realtor.com. I have free workbooks for buyers, sellers, and even renters. My calculators are accurate, easy to understand, and super helpful. You can contact me by using the form on the contact page or clicking the messenger icon in the bottom right. I would love to help you.